And welcome back to the kitchen. Now tonight what I'm going to do is what I call my one pot dinner. So I'm going to turn all this into a meal. So what I've got is just stuff that already got out in my kitchen, in my fridge and stuff. So I've got some pumpkin, potatoes, onion, capsicum, carrot, beans. Now I've got Brussels sprouts. These guys get a really bad rap. I think if you boil them up in water, which most people will probably, that's what they grew up with and they hate them. I would hate them. Honestly, you put these into a roast, or like what I'm going to do tonight, I tell you, they're gold. They are absolute gold. I love them. I also use black olives, not Cartamel olives, black olives that are already cut up and split. I like to put some of them in. I use dirty old, good old chicken salt, okay, on my chicken to season it. I'm going to baste it all in olive oil tonight because we're not really roasting this, it's more baking, if that makes sense. It'll probably make sense in a minute. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to get all this cut up and trimmed, and I'll come back then. Okay, and I'm back. I've cut up everything, and the great thing about that is I like to put music on, and I'm so generous I let the neighbours hear it as well. Now I forgot to mention a few things. First of all, with the potatoes and the pumpkin, which I've already cut up, if you remember back to some of my other videos, boil the water at full boil. I then have my cut pieces, I put in there for exactly 6 minutes. 6, S-I-X, 6. No more, no less. Take them off, strain them into the same pot that they were cooking in. I then tipped in my olive oil. I then hit it with salt and pepper to season. And there they are. I do that because we're only going to cook this for about 40 minutes. So it depends on the species of pumpkin and potato you're using. Sometimes they'll be right, sometimes they'll still be a bit hard. So to avoid all that mess, I just boil them at warp factor 9 for 6 minutes. And that way, no matter what, they always come out really perfect, you know. Now, so I'm just going to put these in the pot now. As you can see, I've cut up everything else, but the next thing I really want to do is just show you. Here's my chicken breast, just one chicken breast. This is just for one meal really. I might get two, I don't know. So this is the chicken tender here. I just cut that off. Don't worry, we're not going to throw that away. That's one of the best bits. And then what I do is I score this, just breaking the surface. You don't want to go too deep. The reason why I do that, it'll cook quicker and more evenly. We're going to place it in there. But before I do that, I'm going to put it in my oil and salt and pepper that I've already got in my pot here. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a bit of a swirl around in there, and we'll get this bit too, like that. And just bung it in like that. No big deal. Now all these are going to go into the pot. Everything. You can see the onion, I just cut it up in chunks sort of thing, wedges, that's the way I like it. You can cut it up any way you want. So again, I'm just going to mix all this up. Just give it another quick hit of salt. Whoops, my hands are all greasy. Like that. Bit of pepper. By the way, I use ground black pepper corns, whatever you call them. There's all different types of pepper. This is the one I prefer. To me it's got a fantastic flavour, I just love it. But you know, if I want to get white pepper or other brown sort of black pepper, I'm not such a big fan of that stuff. But this one, I love it. Why my hands are all greasy. So now I am just going to start putting this stuff in really randomly. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I just like to put the potatoes up the end to give them a bit of breathing room. That's all. You could put them anywhere. Don't cover the chicken if you can help it. Only because I like that the top part to brown up a little bit, and if you've got stuff on it, it won't brown. But look, it's not the end of the world, okay? And then finally, just get this stuff in like that. So finally, this is a preference of mine. You can do it if you want to. If you don't, don't. Right? I don't care. But for me, there's a herb called sage. Sage leaves, and you get the powdered form like that where it's been ground up. For me, sage and chicken go together like, you know, beer and chips, or a nice cigar with a nice Chianti or something like that, or a whiskey or a bourbon, right? It's a marriage made in heaven. So I tend to overdose on sage. Not overdose, I give it a good sort of thing, you know. Whenever I'm having chicken, like roast chicken, any sort of chicken, I tend to hit it with the sage. I even put it in stuffing. When I'm stuffing a bird, I like to put in sage. With that, I put in whole leaves. And the other secret ingredient, not really, is the good old Master Foods chicken salt. I don't know what's in this, I don't care, I don't want to know, right? It's just yummy. And I actually sprinkle it on everything, right? Just a light dusting, that's all. We don't want to go overboard with it. And last but not least, some black olives. Again, this is optional. You don't have to put these on. I just happen to be a fan of them, right? And I've got them in the fridge almost all the time because I use them in lots of different things. I like to just strain them of that, the juice that they come in. Normally I would have done this, but since we're on camera I'll just do it like this. Normally I'll put them into a little strainer and actually strain them. And I just sprinkle a few on like that. Okay, that's it. A couple more on this side. There we go. Done. Done. So, just because I'm obsessed, I'm just going to give another quick seasoning with salt, a bit of pepper. Remember, seasoning. Never too much seasoning. And if I've got any oil in here, not really, but I'll just sort of drizzle that over if I've got any in there. So that's it. Believe it or not, this takes about 10 minutes to organise. It's really quick, it's easy. It's something I do pretty regularly because it's so easy and quick. This is ready now to go in the oven. I'm not going to cover it, it's going straight in like that. And my oven is preheated, so I've got a really hot oven. So I do it at about 170, 175. You may like to go to 180, even 190 C, depending on what your oven's like. Like I said, mine burns like the sun. So mine's only on 175. And I'm going to do that for 40 to 45 minutes. What I mean by that is, at 40 minutes, I check it with a thermometer. I check the chicken, right? Because the last thing you want to do is have uncooked chicken. Chicken and beef mince, if they're not cooked properly, you will get salmonella poisoning. It's not will I, it's no, you will. Okay? So don't muck around with it. So I use the thermometer. We're looking for about 74 with chicken, like this, 72, 74. It'll be well cooked, trust me, but I just check it at 40 minutes anyway. And then the other thing I probably don't show you before, but with any sort of roasting or things, I've got, I don't know if you can see this, it's actually a skewer, but the only thing I ever use the skewer for is to poke into my potatoes to see if they're ready yet. And I can feel it. I don't know how to explain it, but there's no resistance. Like, I don't shove it in, I just gently poke it in, and if I feel no resistance, I know it's done. If I feel it's a little bit then it's not done, right? So that's the only other test I'll be doing. So that's it, my oven's ready to go. I'm going to bung this in the oven and see you in about 40 minutes, or in YouTube land that's about a second. Alright, okay, and we're done. But what I have done, it came out at 40 minutes and it was done perfect. So I just draped over some alfoil just to keep it sort of moist and warm, to let it rest for about, I don't know, between 5 and 10 minutes sort of thing. So basically this is what it looks like when it comes out. Hopefully you can see that. So like I said, it's not really a roast, it's more of a bake. Things don't really brown up that much or anything, but I'm telling you, they taste like roasted vegetables and things. So basically that's it. Now all I'm going to do is plate up. I don't put gravy on this or sauce or anything, I just eat it as is. You could, it's your preference, you know, if you want to do that. I sort of get the juices that are in the bottom of the pan and just drizzle it over, you know, over what's on the plate. Alright, so basically, yeah, just get some tongs, put your chicken in the middle, just like that. You can see that sage and stuff on there, that's there. So I probably won't eat all these veggies tonight, but who knows. Brussels sprouts, there you go, they're all lovely. I like to put the onion on there like that. Beans, carrots, it's all good. Of course the onions sort of fall apart, which is delicious, you can see there. And that'll do, it's the carrot. So there you go, that's basically it. So, as I said, it's my one pot chicken dinner. Winner winner, chicken dinner. Can't go wrong with that. Tastes delicious. So there it is. See you later.